Yes.
Okay, so I decided to do how to pick the right Nike soccer cleats for you as a player, just because as a soccer player myself, I have a lot of knowledge about the subject. At the end of the day, like picking boots comes down to like just your personal preference, but I thought I'd give you some tips so when you pick your next pair, you just have a few guidelines to go on. You're not going to spend too much money on a really flashy pair you don't need, or you're actually getting your money's worth on a good pair of boots, or cleats as you say in America. The first step that I would do towards picking your cleats is look at your budget. So like, are you someone who has lots of money and can afford to get a really nice pair of boots? Or are you someone who's just going to be using them for like one season, like you're just having fun on your local team and you just want like a good pair that will get you through, but you don't want to spend lots of money? I picked Nike to do this presentation on because they have 4 easy distinguishable classes of boots to pick from. So they have, if you go from here to here, we have Club, Academy, Pro, and Elite. And I put the prices on here, so if you look at like a club boot goes for, this is in pounds because it's an European website, but a club pair goes for £50, an Academy pair goes for £78, and Pro pair goes for £140, and an Elite pair goes for £230. So obviously a big difference between club all the way up to Elite. Myself as a player, I personally prefer to invest in a good pair of Elite boots just because even though they're like really, really expensive, they last you like quite a long time. I've had my Elite pair for probably 2 years now, and they're still going strong because you're paying for like quality and good material that will last a lot longer. But if you are looking to save a little more money, I would go down to either like the Pro or the Academy ones. Club is kind of more aimed at like kids whose feet are growing a lot, so you're just gonna use them for one season. So I wouldn't pick Club unless you just know that this is it, just one season, because they aren't great quality and they're definitely gonna run out pretty quickly. But yeah, that's just a breakdown of the different classes. Step 2, I would look at length of use and level of play. Kind of as I touched on in the previous slide, like the way you're going to use your boots really changes which ones you should pick. So I have a kid soccer player, I have like a collegiate athlete like myself, or Lionel Messi, a professional player. So if we start from like Messi, he actually probably goes through one pair of boots for every couple games, or even like sometimes some of the players who feel like it will just wear a pair of boots for one game and then get rid of them. He probably still pays for the Elite ones, but he makes the choice that it's just performance based. He wants them once and then they're done to him, or some people use them for a week or two. So he has the money and he has the time. He's not going to use them for very long, but he's probably going to be picking some Elite Nike boots and just gifting them afterwards, I guess. But he has the ability to do that, whereas a college athlete like myself probably can't afford to continue to go through boots like this. So we're going to want to pick a good pair of like Elite boots or Pro that are going to last us through the season. I mean, I know that I'm going to have to turn over a boot pretty quickly because we train every single day and it's a lot of use on these boots, but you know you're getting your money's worth, and you know that they're going to last you like a good amount of time compared to Messi, who's just like once and done. And then if you're a kid player, obviously you're going to be going through boots pretty quickly, so you probably, like I said before, want to go for like the really cheap ones. Just don't need to waste money if he's going to grow a whole foot size the next year. But just consider how long you want the boot to last for versus how much you're going to train on it as well when picking your cleats. Finally, I thought it would be important to touch on ground type, because a lot of people don't realize that Nike makes multiple different sole plates based on what kind of boots you're going to get and which grounds you play on. So the 3 I have here are like artificial grass based. This one is a multi-surface one for firm ground and artificial and grass. And the last one is like soft ground boots that are used for like super muddy conditions. So if you're a player who likes having multiple pairs of boots, I went through a phase when I did, you can buy like technically one of each and use your artificial boots for just when you're training on turf. Use your firm ground boots for when you're training on any kind of surface, and use your anti-clog soft ground ones for when you're training on like really thick muddy grass. But the default for players who change a lot is firm ground, the one in the middle, just because they can be used on multiple kinds of surfaces. It's a very versatile boot. But if you know for sure that you're only going to play on grass or you're only going to play on artificial, it might be worth choosing one of those just to make sure that you get the most out of your boot, because the different sole plates are designed for the different types of grass that they play on. And it will just, if you use an artificial grass boot on the big, thick, muddy grass, it's just not going to work as well as if you got the right sole plate for that. But yes, these are just some of my tips for how to choose a correct boot for next time you're at the shop or shopping online. At the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference and just your own opinion on what you think is right, but I hope that you found these tips useful.